Hello guys, welcome back to our Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Two warriors strong enough to be ranked among the top 10 in the entire city. Two warriors who were the strongest within the East District, met within that dark alley. Usually, the peak warriors would pick their battles according to the points, and only when they have enough points would they go and engage with other peak fighters in life or death battles. As they have enough points, even if they died, losing half their points, they would still remain within the top 1,001. Shall we fight now? Devil stared at Luo Feng, right? Luo Feng nodded, right now, ha ha, then let me have a glimpse of the terrifying madman that has scared so many geniuses. Devil's singular vertical eye gleamed with madness. Luo Feng floated up half a meter, as the soaring shuttle automatically appeared below him. The two faced off within that alley, rumble. Devil stomped hard on the ground with his right foot, causing the concrete to split open, and his entire body rushed towards Luo Feng in an instant. His forearms were wielding the black hammers, which had pointy edges, as they sliced towards Luo Feng in a flash. Luo Feng's body drifted backwards. Simultaneously a gold light shot out from the soaring shuttle below his feet, forming a golden fish, go. Luo Feng's gaze focused. The golden fish happily swam towards Devil, causing his eye to have a hint of shock. This madman controls a spirit weapon, and has actually reached such a perfect level of control over it. Obviously he has perfectly fused the knife blades together, but he actually produced such a lifelike fish, without any killing intent at all. They clashed, and the forearms danced, causing the hammers to intercross between each other, forming an almost perfect defense, blocking the golden fish time and again. Ha ha, this madman only has this amount of power. Devil let out a loud laugh. Rumble. A thick black aura began to revolve about Devil's surroundings. In an instant, it caused a 100-meter area to be engulfed in a black energy domain. Luo Feng could feel that black energy was extremely thick and heavy, filled with killing intent. Under that energy's cover, Devil's four hammer-wielding arms seemed to be boosted as their speeds increased, and every slice was even faster and heavier. Black hammer dance. The golden fish continuously dodged and tried to find ways to penetrate the black hammer defense. The golden fish dodged and a black hammer smashed into the alley street light beside them. That thick and strong street light was actually hit so hard that it bent right, at the point of collision, rumble. A hammer smashed into the alley, causing the concrete to split into a crevice. The smashed rubble dispersed like a gun shooting in all directions. Hammers danced all about. As quick as lightning and as heavy as mountains. Devil, you are the first person within this city to make me unleash my domain to fight. Luo Feng smiled. Devil squinted his eye. The madman before him was too savage. He hadn't even unleashed his domain until now. Even with a domain, you will still die. Engulfed in a black energy, along with four arms and a single eye, the Darkness Clan genius, Devil, just like an actual devil, headed straight towards Luo Feng. The four hammers in his arms immediately became a black shadow, and it almost looked like it was splitting the earth and mountains, as countless amounts of rubble madly fell from all over. With the golden light energy engulfing the surroundings, the golden fish almost seemed to be like a fish returning to water, suddenly becoming more flexible, nimble and swift. The domain gave it more mobility. The soaring shuttle had gold energy at its core. Being infused with the gold origin laws and with the gold domain, it was like a fish in water. The golden fish rushed time and again at Devil, and his mad quad hammer dance was aimed at deflecting the fish. However, this time the fish was definitely much more nimble, and its power was much greater. Not just attacking, but defending alone against this slippery fish was extremely difficult. Devil couldn't help but roar out, his single eye staring straight at the golden fish. The golden fish's tail waved and its body arced into an S shape, piercing towards Devil, dang. Devil once again blocked it, dang. Devil fought hard to deflect the hits, as beads of sweat were oozing out from his forehead. From the distance Luo Feng was actually shocked within. With my strong domain, my strong amplifier, and law infusion, I've used everything. The soaring shuttle's power has already reached its peak. Yet I'm still unable to kill Devil. Devil's power was indeed strong, the revolution of the four hammers combined with a powerful domain. During his attacks, every slice was shockingly heavy. His defense, it could be said to be perfect. If I want to kill him in an instant, I will have to use the Nanshan armament. Luo Feng thought. The soaring shuttle was incapable of unleashing his full power, but the Nanshan armament, that was the final trump card. This madman is too terrifying. I've met over tens of thousands of spirit readers. However, among their spirit weapon control, none have been so terrifying. His golden fish attack is akin to a normal fish altogether, incomparably flexible, and its orbit and movement is hard to track as well. Its power itself is hard to gauge. The moment it's unleashed, its power is shocking. Devil thought. The swordfish's control was indeed at a point where he controlled it thoroughly, perfect without any flaws, unleashing its power whenever required and concealing its power when not needed. Under Luo Feng's golden fish attacks time and again, Devil's defense was slowly getting worn down. Continuing this defense would mean certain defeat. With one arm gone, his defense obviously had dropped a level. The Darkness Clan genius Devil knew he was unable to change the tides. Knowing that, he madly rushed to kill Luo Feng. However, he was stopped by the golden fish. Devil roared. Rumble. 3 black hammers were dancing madly, hitting the side street lights till they bent and smashing the side constructs till the walls split open, revealing rods of alloys, and pieces of glass flew everywhere. However, when one runs rampant like that, they can only preserve that momentary explosion of energy for a short period of time. The golden fish suddenly slipped directly through the black hammers, piercing through Devil's single eye, right through his forehead. Silence. Luo Feng slowly landed in the alley, as his golden fish too returned into the soaring shuttle. Rumble. Devil's huge body gradually fell. The black hammers too smashed into the alley ground, causing loud clangs. Looking at the Darkness Clan genius's corpse before him, Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. This devil is a little more powerful than even Big Brother. Judging his powers, this devil should be a domain level 8. Along with the Darkness Clan being favored by the earth, just like how the Golden Horned Beast was favored by the Gold Origin laws. Devil's training time ranged in the hundreds of years, along with the teachings of his ancestors, and being a genius on top of that, reaching domain level 8 isn't strange at all. Hence, even without using the Nanshan armament, Luo Feng had already spent all his energy. In the alley, standing beside the corpse of Devil, Luo Feng tied it up and looked down at the screen on his wrist. The numbers had already changed. Participant, Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, points. 6,129,030 rank, 191 inch. This devil was indeed an absolute warrior of this city. He started going all out right from the beginning. After so long, his points were much more than mine. Luo Feng thought. Killing Devil alone gave him 3 million points, meaning that Devil still should have about 6 million points. Indeed a domain level 8 genius, very good. Luo Feng revealed a smile. Killing one devil was worth more than killing over 1,000 geniuses before. Luo Feng became startled, as he turned fiercely to look at a residential building. On the balcony of that building was a silhouette. One dressed in green battle robes with green long hair and a handsome face, he was looking over at the alley in which Luo Feng was located. There was actually someone so close to me and I didn't detect him before. Luo Feng felt cold sweat on his back. Madman, indeed a madman. A clear crisp voice resounded. The green-hair handsome youth stood on the balcony, smiling. To actually defeat Devil, this devil, was one that even I would have to spend quite a bit of energy to kill. Right now in this East District, you madmen are number 1. I really want to battle with you right now. Luo Feng squinted, remembering a person within his mind, shouting, "You are, Windmill." Windmill known as one of the top 10 geniuses of the city unanimously. If one said that Madman was the closest to being the craziest of the lot, then Windmill would represent the entire city's close to being invincible warriors. He enjoyed making the city his own, especially aiming the strongest among the strong. So far, whenever he made a move, he had always succeeded. My points are still insufficient. On the last day, I will come and find you. You will have to battle with me. The handsome youth smiled, following which his entire body became a green light, and immediately vanished into the darkness of the night. Actually, the battle between Madman and Devil which resulted in the explosions and clashes, not only attracted Windmill, but also many other weaker geniuses. Only thing was, as soon as they saw that the battle was between Madman and Devil, they decided to maintain their distance, not daring to approach, or get any closer. This battle, Devil died. Madman survived. In the East District, the reputation of Madman exploded. The following days. Slaughter. Madman resumed his massacre. Any survivors he discovered were immediately chased down and killed. On the 21st day of the elimination, Madman had just killed another top 10 in strength, warrior ice thread in a skyscraper. On the 26th day, Madman once again killed another top 10 in strength, named Bones in a little residential district. Ever since 3 of the top 10 had died by the hands of Madman, the reputation of Madman had a terrifying deterring effect in the city. The remaining survivors, the true geniuses, all unanimously agreed that Madman had the power of the top 3. In the 88th world, a youth dressed in a white robe stood on a cliff in a continuous mountain range. You are Thunder. Bare feet, messy hair, a young sturdy-looking youth who was 3 m tall, hand-wielding a short knife, smiled as he looked at Thunder God before him. Thunder God's face went pale. You are the tall and sturdy man. Before him had an appearance very similar to an Earth human, only sturdier and taller. And this wild man in the 88th world was a terrifying figure. Nicknamed Savage, he was one of the top 3 in strength of the 88th world. Savage loved to kill the strong. Only geniuses with true strength could attract his attention. In this 88th world, no one was even a match for him. At least he hadn't met a match yet. All the geniuses ended up being killed by his short knife. The knife was only short compared to his full height. That knife, to someone like Thunder God, was a large battle knife. Bring out your full power. Savage looked at Thunder God. I don't believe this. Thunder God's eyes gleamed. Thunder snakes flew about him as his entire body became a blur, almost as though a dreamy image appeared, as he flew straight at Savage. 72nd world. If one said that the world that Luo Feng was in was modeled after a certain planet's land surface, then the world Thunder God was in was modeled after a large mountain forest range. The 72nd world, however, was modeled after a very well-known Ganwu universe country's construct, the planet skyscraper. The planet skyscraper was an extremely tall construct that reached past the clouds. Its entire area was vast. Within the skyscraper, its construct design could house up to 10 billion people. This was indeed an unbelievable thing. Normal planets usually only had population of that size in total, hence it became known as the planet skyscraper. This building had a huge reputation throughout the Ganwu universe country, as it was built from an impulse of an undying with huge amounts of wealth. This 72nd world. Within this skyscraper, 8.2 billion people were crammed in there, engaging in battles. At night time, the entire skyscraper was covered in darkness. A black-haired man wielding a pike was walking quietly in a large walkway that was 10 m wide, and on it were traces of blood stains all over, bodies strewn about. It's already the 28th day. Hong looked down at the screen on his wrist. Participant, Hong, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, points, 910,293 rank, 1,016 inches. The final 2 to 3 days, many warriors will risk it all and fight for more points. These last few days, I have to get enough points to make it into the top 1001. Within the dark walkway, Hong was like a ghost during the night. Due to the training he received as an assassin in his youth, he was very used to these sort of life or death situations. Hong creased his eyebrows. The surrounding lights warped and Hong's entire body vanished. In the distant fork in the walkway, a warrior was looking around him, not spotting anybody and continuing to push forward. This youth's expression changed. There's someone. Immediately an explosion of energy surged and waved about as he unleashed his domain. Immediately, in the air about 10 meters away, a human silhouette appeared. This black-dressed silhouette was approaching as fast as lightning. His entire body form was warping, giving off an extremely weird monstrous image. Shio. The pike turned and the tip pierced through the space, straight at the enemy. That youth quickly retreated, simultaneously controlling his spirit weapon to block the attack. The pike's tip pierced through the head of the youth, his eyes filled with shock and denial, as though he was unable to comprehend why. He had obviously blocked the attack, yet he still died. Your usage of the domain is too raw. Hong looked at the body, his body blurring again and vanishing. Within a ship's single room, Second Uncle's points have suddenly dropped. Little Hai's flushed face looked completely shocked, shouting out clearly, he was still in the top 3,000 earlier, now he's dropped to the top 5,000, what? Shugang too stared wide-eyed, carefully examining the screen, shaking his head. It's true, Thunder God's ranking is dropping rapidly. Look, his points seem to have dropped by at least half, losing half his points. Don't tell me Thunder God was killed. Let me try. Shushin said, contacting Thunder God. Hello, little sister. I've just been eliminated, but I have been receiving multiple calls and invites. Ha ha. Thunder God appeared on the screen, laughing. Second Uncle, you've lost. Beside, Little Ping shouted out loudly, yeah, completely lost. Thunder God replied oddly, shaking his head, "No way about it. I met our world savage, he's completely sick, his speed is sick, I couldn't even run if I wanted to. When he attacked, just one move and I got killed. His strength is way above mine. I was beaten to a point where I couldn't even say anything, one move." Everyone in the room was shocked. "However, little Ping, your father's doing pretty well. I just saw. He's already rushed into the top 128 ranks." Thunder God complimented, "Big brother is also doing okay, but is still just a little shy of the top 1001. Luo Feng sprung up suddenly in this battle of geniuses, causing countless Black Dragon Mountain Empire people to crazily cheer for him. In the air above the First World, in a ship's large hall, over 1,000 people were gathered. Luo Feng's rank has just risen again, he's made it to number 128. Too powerful, and he only began to make his move from the 10th day. If he had begun from the start, his points would definitely be higher than now. Making it into the top 100 would definitely be simple. Right, Luo Feng is too strong. Stronger than many warriors from the Ganwu Universe starfields. This group of Empire citizens were extremely passionate. Competition between the many starfields was a rare thing, and there was no better place for this competition. As there were many fighters and warriors located within the many starfields, this genius battle represented the quality of warriors from each starfield. The more geniuses there are, it meant the stronger the starfield was. People who lacked talent would naturally be looked down on. Right now our Black Dragon Mountain Empire already has 2 people who have made it into their world's top 1001. Nabini is very strong too, his current rank is at 862. This Nabini was a genius from our galaxy initially. After gaining attention from the Black Dragon Mountain Sacred Land, he was immediately brought over. For him to make it to number 862, that's not bad, not bad. However, he can't compare to Luo Feng, right? Luo Feng is already at 128. And the higher you go the harder it becomes. Jiao Xing, Nuolan Shan and countless other citizens from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, even many from the Ganwu Universe starfields, were all paying attention. And Luo Feng this time had brought great honor to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. On the 30th day of elimination, which was also the last day, night had just passed and the sun was just rising. Luo Feng walked in the alley, looking down at the screen on his wrist. Participant, Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, points, 13,988,292 rank, 102, inch 102. It was mainly from killing those 3 absolute warriors like Devil that he got so many points. At the time, Luo Feng came to the alley in which he killed Devil, and Luo Feng unleashed his genetic energy, looking up and shouting loudly, "Windmill." A roar with the genetic energy power of a star level 9, immediately spread across the entire city, and eventually even spread beyond the city into the wilderness. Windmill. 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 His roar echoed throughout the city. Within the entire city, countless survivors were all shocked. Windmill. Who would dare challenge Windmill? On the balcony of a large skyscraper, a green-haired youth sitting there opened his eyes, muttering, "This madman, he's indeed mad, Devil, ice thread and bones all died by his hands. This battle is really getting me excited." The green-haired youth stood upright. His eyes gleamed with a peculiar light, following which he became a green light breaking through space, immediately heading towards where he had first met Madman. Daybreak, in the silent blood-stained alley, Luo Feng stood there alone waiting. Luo Feng looked up. In the distance, a green light was swiftly flying over. It finally reduced its speed and revealed a human silhouette. It was a green-haired youth stepping on a green wheel-like spirit weapon with razor-sharp edges. As he slowed down, the green-haired youth descended, landing about a 100 m away from Luo Feng. "I didn't expect you to shout so loudly." The green-haired youth looked at Luo Feng, his eyes seemingly laughing. "Your roar. Everyone in the city must have heard you, let them hear it." Luo Feng stood there, his entire body seemed to be a condensed blade full of anger and energy. His anger was extremely heavy. I wonder what this madman does in reality, to exhibit such a strong aura. The green-haired youth thought. He wouldn't even have thought that Luo Feng had possessed the golden horned beast, a being that lived to slaughter. This possession had given him many benefits. If he hadn't done this, with only the inheritance of the Yunmo planet, he would only be capable of making waves in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. But with the possession, it's allowed him to become one of the top geniuses in the entire human race of the universe. It could be said that he was destined for even bigger things, and could not be restricted to just the Black Dragon Mountain star field. This was the greatest benefit the golden horned beast had brought. Its shortcomings, however, were that it brought with it increased savagery and brutality. He had kept the shortcoming under control before, but in this first world, Luo Feng had completely let it out. Luo Feng's cold eyes swept, gazing in the distant surroundings. In the distant residential buildings, in a few shop houses, or a few alley forks, he could make out a few human silhouettes. Also in the sky, he could see human silhouettes that had flown over and landed about. It's Madman, the other one is Windmill, it's indeed the two of them. The one roaring before I guess was Madman, and in our city, only Madman would dare pick a challenge with Windmill, it's too thrilling. And on this final day, Madman is going against Windmill. Madman, Windmill, who will win, who knows? Madman, that guy is capable of doing anything, Devil, Ice Thread and Bones, these three all died under Madman's hands. However, even more geniuses have been killed by Windmill. These two, it's really hard to say. Within a short time, many warriors had gathered about within a distance of 1,000 meters between the two, spectating from shop houses, residential buildings etc. This fight was set to become the city's most elite and thrilling battle. In the alley, Luo Feng and the green-haired youth faced off. Quite a lot of people have gathered. Luo Feng's gaze swept the distant areas. You sure are kind. Luo Feng glanced at him and immediately jumped on the soaring shuttle and headed towards the closest residential building. The green-haired youth laughed. I'm just afraid of the hassle. The two stepped on their spirit weapons and swiftly flew to the residential building besides them. Quickly flee. That Madman and Windmill, they've gone mad. Let's go, they are coming over. Immediately, silhouettes madly fled in all directions, all scurrying about. The geniuses that had survived till now, many had strength close to Thunder God, or were even stronger than him. However, against the two strongest powers in this city, Madman and Windmill, they all chose to flee. Come with me. After killing a bunch of people, Luo Feng communicated to Windmill. Following which he led the way down to an underground alley. The green-haired youth followed closely in. This city's underground tunnels can lead to anywhere the city. Luo Feng and the green-haired youth followed the tunnels at breakneck speed, and after a while, exiting through one of the exits. By now, they were already at the north part of the city. This place was filled with villas. These villas were all pretty similar to the villa constructs on Earth, spread throughout a few kilometers in area. Luo Feng and Windmill stood on separate roofs, staring at each other. Windmill. Luo Feng's heart was akin to a sea of blood, filled with killing intent and rage. However, the sea was incomparably calm, as not even a ripple could be seen on it. Savage but ice cold. This was a special quality of the golden horned beast. Even though it enjoyed killing madly, it was always extremely calm. This Windmill is much stronger than the three before. Luo Feng thought, today is the final day of the elimination. This battle should also be the final one. The green-haired youth looked at Luo Feng, smiling. Madman, I'm very curious, what's your current rank? No one knew each other's true names, hence they didn't know their rankings. 102. Luo Feng looked at the green-haired youth. And you? 42. He replied. Luo Feng was instantly shocked. From the ranking alone, one could perceive the opponent's power. His own ranking was 102, because of killing Devil, Bones and Ice Thread, as these three were among the top 10 in this city. Although he had acquired a decent amount of points from killing them, these three were in the 200 to 300 ranking. And the strongest in this city, Windmill, was actually only ranked 42. How did you get so many points? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Without a worthy opponent, it's really boring. The green-haired youth's eyes gleamed with madness. Luo Feng looked at the distant green-haired youth, his competitiveness burning within. Then let's cut the chatter. Luo Feng roared. Rumble. A glaring gold light immediately burst out from his body as large amounts of golden threads formed a golden energy flow. A golden fish swam, like a fish in water in that light, swiftly heading towards the distant green-haired youth. Rumble. The green-haired youth's body immediately released a green energy flow. Simultaneously a complex will-like spirit weapon appeared before him. The round will swiftly rotated. At the same time the green energy had formed a pathway that swiftly blocked the golden fish. Dang. 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 Clashes resounded over and over again. The two spirit weapons clashed in mid-air. Luo Feng's soaring shuttle and the green-haired youth's green disc faced off. These two were absolute genius spirit readers, and both of them had actually stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. Unlike Devil with his 4 arms, this green-haired youth relied only on the round wheel to block Luo Feng's goldfish's every attack. Of course, his extremely fast round wheel was unable to completely suppress Luo Feng's weapon. Windmill, that's all you got. Luo Feng roared. The golden fish infused with threads of gold origin laws was incomparably flexible, dodging the edge of the blade and smashing into the wheel's surface. Following which with lightning speed, shot out towards the green-haired youth. Very good. The green-haired youth's wheel below his feet, and the wheel he used to attack with was the same spirit weapon. The wheel beneath his feet suddenly shot out to deflect the golden fish. Simultaneously, the wheel actually split apart into 2 semi-discs. These 2 discs worked together and madly revolved around each other. Madman, the other city's warrior was the first and you are the second person to make me use my full strength. The green-haired youth's eyes gleamed. With a quick clash, the 2 semi-discs acted like 2 crescent moons revolving around each other, feeding off each other's energy. Their speeds were constantly rising and getting harder to read. Their effect on each other caused Luo Feng's single golden fish to be somewhat panicked, seemingly getting fatigued by their interceptions, too fast and too hard to predict. Luo Feng could feel that the 2 discs were infused with some origin laws. Just like the universe, almost like 2 planets orbiting about each other. These 2 discs were infused with some peculiar form of energy. Before, when Windmill's reputation soared throughout the city, he relied on his spirit weapon's incomparably swift and fierce movements. However, when the disc split into 2, its speed, power, and movement all soared greatly. It completely displayed to Luo Feng what Windmill's reputation was all about. It completely suppressed Luo Feng. One of the discs actually suppressed the golden fish, while the other shot as quick as lightning towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng immediately used the soaring shuttle to retreat, simultaneously using his shield. Dang. The disc clashed into the shield which was in Luo Feng's hand. Taking the impact from that fierce wind-powered disc infused with origin law powers caused Luo Feng's entire body to be knocked backwards, directly smashing into the roof portion of the villa, straight into the villa itself. The golden fish swiftly returned to the villa. Peng. The already shattered roof was once again exploded open, a human silhouette burst out from within. It was Luo Feng. He didn't look like a sorry figure at all, in fact there was excitement in his eyes. The green-haired youth floated in mid-air as the 2 discs kept revolving in the surrounding. The green-haired youth realized there was a dark golden long rod on Luo Feng's back. That rod was very long and thick, almost like a dark golden wooden stake. Windmill, what you said was right. Without an opponent, it's indeed boring. In the air above the villa, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with madness. You, Windmill, are the first to force me to use my strongest power. There's no choice, you are indeed very powerful. Without taking out this Nanshan armament, I really can't win. The green-haired youth's body was stunned. He looked shocked at the dark golden rod on Luo Feng's back. Nanshan armament. The Nanshan armament is a weapon, which was infused with the 2 great origin laws of gold and space. It was one of the 9 ultimate weapons for the controller spirit readers. To actually use the Nanshan armament at the star level was an unbelievable thing to do. The Nanshan armament was separated into 9 levels. Just the first level alone required one to have a comprehension of the gold origin laws along with an extremely strong amplifier to unleash it properly. It took Luo Feng a few months in the actual world, along with 10 days of serious training in this elimination stage to finally get a grasp of the basics, and to reach a level where it may work. For a star level to actually master the first level would mean that he would be invincible in the same entire grade. Invincible, that alone represented its power. You can use the Nanshan armament. The green-haired youth's eyes was filled with shock. This is my first time actually using it in a battle. Luo Feng carried the dark golden long rod on his back, gently landing on an undamaged villa's roof. The green-haired youth couldn't help but feel nervous. After all, the reputation of the Nanshan armament was huge. The strong willpower and fighting spirit within him caused the youth to burn with passion as he shouted, "Madman, this is the final day for the elimination. To be able to meet an opponent like you, it really makes me happy. Make sure to use your full strength and let me see properly just how strong the legendary Nanshan armament is. I won't disappoint you." Luo Feng squinted. The two faced off with less than 100 meters between each other, standing on 2 separate rooftops. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed as he pointed at the green-haired youth. Immediately, the dark golden long rod released a beam of golden light. Those 9 cicada wing-thin little golden blades dispersed and their incredibly complex engravings began to emit a golden stream of energy and started to interlink. To actually connect them together into a perfect body was incredibly difficult. When he used the soaring shuttle in the past and was finally able to complete the swordfish formation, he still was not able to fully infuse it with the origin laws. And at this time in an instant, he used all of his comprehension of the gold origin laws into one attack, putting his all into one move. Even after all this, Luo Feng could feel that his comprehension wasn't enough. He had only a basic grasp of this first level. He was still far from completing it. A dreamy golden orb engulfed in golden light revolved before Luo Feng. The entire dreamy golden blade was hard to see clearly. A powerful energy emitted from that golden blade, causing the space around to ripple. The dreamy golden blade immediately shot towards the distant green-haired youth. The instant that it shot out, because it was too fast, it became a golden rainbow roar. The green-haired youth grit his teeth, the veins on his forehead straining and protruding as he used his full strength to control his spirit weapon. The two crescent discs were like two children playing with each other. One playing around while the other chased, making one unable to clearly see it as it soared into the wind to deflect that terrifying golden rainbow rumble. The golden blade rainbow clashed into the two discs. With an explosion, the two discs were knocked away into the villa below. With a clang, one of the discs smashed into a window, causing it to smash open immediately as glass shards flew in all directions. After the clash, the golden blade stopped for a brief moment before becoming a golden rainbow again, and shot towards the green-haired youth. How can this be? The green-haired youth revealed shock and fear as the round disc below his feet split into two, becoming two crescent discs that went to intercept, rumble. The golden rainbow once again clashed with them and the two discs were knocked away again, following which, the golden rainbow shot towards the green-haired youth's body. He didn't even bother to dodge. He just stood there, staring straight at Luo Feng and communicating mentally, "Madman, I used the wrong move. The next time, I will definitely win, definitely." The voice roared within Luo Feng's ears as the golden rainbow pierced right through the youth's forehead. The green-haired youth's body fell from mid-air before rolling on the roof and landing within that villa. "You indeed made a mistake." Luo Feng landed beside that body, saying seriously, "You've already stepped into the gateway of the origin laws. Originally, it wouldn't have been that easy for me to kill you. But you chose to fight using force with force. Who else can you blame?" Even though he hadn't used the Nan Shan armament before in a real battle, in the virtual universe slaughterhouse, in order to grow accustomed to the Nan Shan armament, Luo Feng had chosen a variety of star-level opponents. All of them with different comprehension of the origin laws, be it gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, light, time or space, allowing him to gain lots of experience. Gold was hard and strong, extremely sharp and piercing. Wind was formless, flexible beyond compare. While walking different paths, the battle techniques and strategies would naturally have their own differences. Luo Feng had stepped into the gold origin law entrance. Hence, his attacks were naturally strong with a piercing form which destroyed everything before him. While using the most suitable gold origin law weapon Nan Shan armament, his power was extreme. Windmill chose to use brute force to fight with Luo Feng. It wasn't strange for him to die. The main factor was that the green-haired youth Windmill was shocked and scared by the reputation of the Nan Shan armament. Along with the fact that they were at a stalemate before, only right before death did he realize the best way to deal with Madman. The battle between Madman and Windmill caused a huge commotion, which attracted many geniuses from within the north district of the city. But by the time they actually arrived close enough to view the battle, it was already over. Windmill lost. Windmill was actually killed. That's too unbelievable. I didn't see wrongly right. Even Windmill lost. Who can match up to Madman? In the distance, a group of geniuses were extremely shocked. Windmill was much stronger than Devil, Ice Thread and even Bones. Many of them had guessed and even believed that the winner of the fight between Madman and Windmill would have been Windmill. After all, Windmill's success was intrepid, and he had always been way above others, without any failure before. He had always been very relaxed, slaughtering all those who appeared in his path. Many had assumed from early on that this city's number one was Windmill, that Madman is too strong. Madman's final golden light, just what was that? Wasn't it said that Madman's skill from the spirit weapon was a golden fish, right? Since Madman killed Windmill, I wonder just how many points he would get. Although Windmill lost half his points, he definitely still has a lot. As for Madman, his points right now must be even higher than Windmill's. Luo Feng carried the dark golden long rod and flew away from the villa into a distant residential area, immediately landing on a balcony. 30th day of the elimination. Today is the final day. Luo Feng sat there quietly, arranging his thoughts. Of the 30 days, it was the final 20 days that he had immersed himself in the madness, totally committing himself to slaughtering. The number of people killed by him ranged in the thousands. From that bloodbath, the name Madman rose to new heights. However, Luo Feng didn't want to bring that mentality and form back to reality. Luo Feng sat cross-legged quietly while suppressing the bloodlust that ached from his bones, hiding it deep within. This windmill really had so many points. Before this, his rank was indeed 42. Luo Feng looked down at the screen on his wrist. The numbers on it made people's hearts race. Participant: Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, points: 32,178,201 rank, 51 inch by killing windmill. I actually acquired over 18 million points. Luo Feng was shocked. By killing an absolute warrior, the number of points one got was indeed abundant. Prior to this battle, he only had close to about 14 million, not even close to the earnings from just this one battle. However, Windmill did mention that he had killed a strong warrior from another city, getting over 10 million points. The fastest way to get points is to kill an absolute warrior. The best way is to go to each city and hunt. Luo Feng thought. For example, by killing every city's number 1, he estimated that he could get over 100 million points. Of course, the requirement was to be able to kill them. When Luo Feng killed Windmill, his rank simply jumped from 102 to 51 directly. This attracted many of the Ganwu universe countries' powers and organizations to pay attention to him. Before, when he made it to the top 1001, the ones watching him were mostly the trillions of citizens in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. However, after making it to rank 51, things were different. The higher one's standing got, the more crazy the strength levels were. Every world's top 3 could all be said to be true geniuses, who definitely stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. Every world's top 100, there would be some absolute geniuses who've also stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. The difference in ranks were linked directly to each person's choices. Some absolute warriors, like Luo Feng and Windmill, if they chose to not only stay within their own cities, but wander throughout the 91 cities and hunt the absolute warriors, they may meet certain brick walls. However, the higher possibility was that they'd be able to make it to the world's top 10. Search all of Luo Feng's information. This Luo Feng, to be able to reach rank 51, he must be a battle genius with a domain of at least level 8. He might even be a stronger absolute genius who's already begun to comprehend the origin laws. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, from that little out-of-the-way place, there's actually a genius who was able to make it to rank 51. It is rare indeed. Black Dragon Mountain Empire has always been a lower-level country within the Ganwu universe country's many territories. At the time, within the enormous luxurious living room of the universe ship, which gathered all of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's governing officials and royalty, congratulations, Your Majesty. Elation, Your Majesty, rank 51, a 2-digit number. Up to 1,000 people within the hall had erupted in joy. A 3-digit rank compared to a 2-digit or 1-digit rank, the honor associated with each was completely different. As for the 3 from the Black Dragon Mountain, who had made it temporarily through the first round, Hong's standing was 999. Nabini's standing was 860. Luo Feng's standing was 51. From one look it was clear that Hong and Nabini could be considered amongst the elite geniuses of the Black Dragon Mountain. But Luo Feng was definitely an absolute warrior capable of making it into the top ranks of the Ganwu universe country, a 2-digit number. Your Majesty, right now within the entire Black Dragon Mountain Island, the trillion citizens are incomparably excited. Sitting above everybody else, the Emperor's face too could hardly conceal his joy. Laughing out loudly and roaring, in this elimination, our empire has done not bad. Looking at how things are going, there may very likely be 3 people making it through. Hong and Nabini are outstanding. As for Luo Feng, is the pride of our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. This Luo Feng has done us great honor. Great honor. The Emperor's voice grew even brighter. We must reward him, heavily reward him. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.